Did you know that the way you start your car could be silently destroying your engine? In fact, 90% of engine wear happens in the first few seconds after startup. That means every time you turn the key or push that start button, you might be unknowingly damaging vital components. But don't worry. Today, we're covering the most common startup mistakes and how to avoid them to keep your car running smoothly for years. Stick around until the end, because I'll share a crucial tip that could save you from a costly repair bill. Let's get started. 1. Avoid long cranking. One of the most overlooked yet damaging habits when starting a car is holding the key in the ignition for too long. Many drivers, especially in colder climates, believe that continuously cranking the engine will eventually force the car to start. However, what actually happens is that the starter motor overheats, and excessive strain is placed on the battery and ignition system. The starter is designed to engage briefly, spin the engine, and disengage once the engine fires up. Keeping it engaged longer than necessary accelerates wear on the internal components, leading to premature failure. Another issue with prolonged cranking is battery drainage. Every attempt to start the engine requires a significant amount of electrical energy, and continuous cranking without successful ignition weakens the battery. A drained battery results in slower cranking speeds over time, and if left unchecked, it may fail to start the vehicle altogether. If your car doesn't start within 5 to 10 seconds, stop cranking, wait 30 seconds, and then try again. This allows the starter motor to cool down and reduces the risk of overheating. If your car consistently requires long cranking to start, it may indicate a fuel delivery issue, a failing ignition coil, or weak battery voltage, all of which need to be inspected by a professional. 2. Don't use a weak battery. Your car's battery is the lifeline of its electrical system, and starting your engine requires a sudden, high burst of power. A weak or failing battery doesn't just make starting difficult, it can lead to severe electronic malfunctions in modern vehicles. Many newer cars are equipped with electronic control units, ECUs, infotainment systems, and automatic start-stop functions, all of which rely on a stable voltage supply. A failing battery can send inconsistent voltage, leading to sensor errors, misfires, or even an engine that refuses to start. A weak battery also puts stress on the alternator. When the battery doesn't provide enough power, the alternator has to compensate, running at higher loads to recharge the system. Over time, this additional strain can cause the alternator to fail prematurely, resulting in even more expensive repairs. Perform regular battery voltage checks using a voltmeter. A healthy battery should read 12.6 volts or higher when the engine is off, and between 13.7 and 14.7 volts when running. If your car cranks slowly or your dashboard lights flicker, it may be time for a battery replacement. On average, batteries last 3 to 5 years, so keep track of when yours was last replaced. 3. Never start with the hood open. You might think there's no harm in starting your car while the hood is open, especially if you're just checking something under the engine bay. But in reality, this is one of the most dangerous habits a car owner can develop. First, many moving parts, such as the serpentine belt, cooling fan, and pulleys, begin spinning immediately when the engine starts. If a tool, a loose rag, or even a piece of clothing gets caught in these components, it could lead to serious injury or cause mechanical damage. Second, modern engines rely on a range of sensors to function correctly. Starting the car while working under the hood without ensuring everything is properly connected can trigger sensor errors, leading to issues such as misfires, check engine lights, and erratic idling. Always ensure that the engine bay is clear before starting the car. If you need to perform an inspection, do so with the engine off and wait until all moving parts have come to a complete stop before touching any components. 4. Be cautious when starting on an incline. Have you ever tried starting your car on a steep hill, only to find that it hesitates or struggles to turn over? This could be due to fuel delivery issues caused by the angle at which your car is parked. In vehicles with lower fuel levels, gravity pulls fuel away from the fuel pump intake, making it harder for the engine to get the necessary fuel to start. If you're in an automatic car and don't have your parking brake engaged, The entire weight of the vehicle is held by the transmission's parking pole, which can lead to premature wear or failure over time. If you must park on a hill, always engage the parking brake first before shifting into park to reduce strain on the transmission. Additionally, if your fuel tank is low, try to park on level ground to prevent fuel starvation when starting the car. 5. Check fluids before starting. Fluids are the lifeblood of your engine, and starting your car without the proper levels of oil, coolant, and transmission fluid can cause immediate damage. Engine oil is particularly important because it provides lubrication to internal components, preventing metal-on-metal contact that leads to wear. If your oil levels are too low, starting the engine can cause excessive friction, increasing the risk of overheating and long-term damage. Similarly, coolant plays a crucial role in regulating engine temperature. Without it, your car could overheat within minutes, leading to a blown head gasket or even complete engine failure. Before starting your car, make it a habit to check the oil dipstick, coolant reservoir, and transmission fluid levels, especially before long drives. If any fluid is low, top it up immediately to prevent damage. Regular fluid maintenance is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to extend the lifespan of your engine. 6. Extreme weather precautions. Weather plays a huge role in how your car starts, and failing to prepare for extreme temperatures can lead to serious mechanical problems. In cold weather, the oil inside your engine thickens, making it harder to circulate. This means critical engine parts aren't properly lubricated during the first few seconds of startup, leading to premature wear. If temperatures drop below freezing, your battery also loses efficiency, making it harder to crank the engine. In extreme cases, fuel can even freeze in the lines, preventing ignition altogether. In hot weather, overheating becomes a major issue. If your coolant levels are low, starting the engine in extreme heat can cause immediate overheating, leading to blown head gaskets or warped cylinder heads. In winter, use an engine block heater if your area experiences freezing temperatures. Let the car idle for 30 to 60 seconds before driving to allow the oil to circulate. In summer, always check coolant levels before starting the engine and avoid excessive idling in extreme heat. 7. Listen for unusual noises. Your car speaks to you, and unusual noises during startup are often the first sign that something is wrong. If you hear a clicking sound, it usually means the battery doesn't have enough power to turn the starter. A grinding noise could mean the starter motor's gear isn't engaging properly with the flywheel, which could lead to severe damage if ignored. A high-pitched whining noise could indicate a failing alternator, meaning your battery won't charge properly. Ignoring these sounds can turn a minor issue into a costly repair. If your car struggles to start and you hear strange noises, don't keep trying. You might be causing more damage. Pay close attention to startup sounds. If you hear anything unusual, get your battery, starter motor, and alternator checked immediately. Catching these issues early can save you from costly repairs. 8. Inspect the drive belt. One of the most overlooked components when starting a car is the serpentine belt. This belt is responsible for powering critical systems like the alternator, power steering pump, and air conditioning compressor. A worn or damaged belt can cause major failures, including overheating, loss of battery charging, and power steering failure. A failing belt might produce a squealing noise, especially in cold weather or when turning the wheel. Cracks, fraying, or looseness indicate it's time for a replacement. Before starting your car, inspect the belt for visible wear. If it's loose, cracked, or making noise, get it replaced immediately to prevent a breakdown. 9. Older cars need a warm-up. If you drive a car built before the early 2000s, it may require a warm-up period before driving. Older engines use carburetors or early fuel injection systems, which don't adjust fuel-air mixtures as efficiently as modern systems. Starting and immediately driving an older car can result in poor fuel combustion, hesitation, and increased engine wear. Let older cars idle for at least 30 to 60 seconds before driving to ensure proper lubrication and fuel mixture adjustment. However, for modern fuel-injected cars, excessive idling is unnecessary and wastes fuel. 10. Replace worn spark plugs. Spark plugs are small but essential for your engine to start properly. Over time, they wear out, causing rough starts, misfires, and poor fuel efficiency. Worn plugs struggle to ignite the air-fuel mixture efficiently, leading to longer crank times and increased emissions. Replace spark plugs according to your car's maintenance schedule, typically every 30,000 to 100,000 miles, depending on the type. If your car is slow to start, idles rough, or has reduced fuel efficiency, it may be time for a spark plug replacement. 11th, check for leaks or unusual smells. Before starting your car, always check underneath for any fluid leaks. Oil, coolant, or fuel leaks can indicate serious engine problems. A burning smell after startup may suggest an electrical issue, an overheating component, or even a brake system failure. Ignoring these signs can lead to major mechanical damage. If you notice puddles or strong odors before starting your car, have it inspected immediately to prevent costly repairs. 12th, inspect a car that has been sitting. If your car has been sitting for weeks or months, don't just start it up without checking for potential issues. Long periods of inactivity can lead to corroded battery terminals, dried out seals, stale fuel, and tire pressure loss. Starting a neglected car without proper checks can cause engine damage or fuel system issues. Before starting a car that has been sitting, check the battery, tire pressure, fluid levels, and fuel condition. If it has been sitting for more than 3 months, consider replacing the oil and fuel before starting. There you have it! The biggest mistakes people make when starting their cars, and how to avoid them. Which of these mistakes have you made before? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more car-saving tips. Thanks for watching. Drive safe.